important part of Samba is strength and conditioning training. So I'm going to give you some exercises that are going to help you with your core strength, with your glutes, with your posture, with a whole bunch of muscle groups that are really going to support your Samba. And if you can try and practice these even a little every day, you're going to see your Samba improve dramatically. So we're going to start first and foremost with a squat. So the most important thing to remember about doing a squat is correct posture, and we need to activate our core. So if we turn on the side, we want to have our shoulders back, our chest lifted. So same as our Samba posture, draw the rib cage in. Keep your feet at around about hip width apart, feet facing forward. We're going to take a nice big deep breath in, and we're going to lower. See if you can keep your knees nice and straight. And then as you get to where it feels comfortable for you, you're going to press through the heels, come straight back up again, and squeeze the glutes at the top. Remember here that you don't want to be swaying forward and back. So as I lower down, I don't want to take my body forward and stick my bum out. I want to think about hips going straight down towards the floor. So you want to draw down and press through the heels to come back up again. Draw down, press back up. So if you watch me from the front, as I'm squatting down, my knees are not coming in, they're also not going out, and my chest is not coming forward. So I'm going to stay nice and tall. Knees are coming forward. Good. Press through the heels, and then when I get to the top, I'm squeezing and activating those glutes. So lowering down, squeezing and activating at the top. Another variation of this squat is a plie squat. So we're going to turn our feet out into ballet pose and position. So we want to make sure that our feet are about hip width apart, turn the feet out, and as we come down, our knees are going to slide in the same direction as our feet. So we're sliding down, pressing through the heels, and coming back up again. Make sure when you do this that you don't tilt the pelvis backwards. So as you come down, you don't want knees coming forward, pelvis going backwards. So you want to think about hips going straight down towards the mat. So coming down, press through the heels, squeeze the glutes at the top. Keep that chest nice and high, squeeze and draw up. So from the back. You want to draw down, press, squeeze the glutes. Shoulders back, coming down and drawing back. Also, you know when you've gone too far because your pelvis is going to tilt underneath. So as I come down, once I see that pelvis tilt underneath and I lose my lower back, nice straight spine, we know we've gone too far. So coming back up again, go down as low as you can until you start to feel that pelvis tuck under. Stop there, and we're pressing to come back up again. So squats are great. You can intersperse normal squats with plie squats. We can also add a little variation with our squats by upping into our plie position, coming down. We can hold down here, we can pulse down here, we can also lift up one heel, continue with our squat here, change sides, and come down. We can also lift up both and see if we can hold. Maybe we can draw down and squat. Maybe we can come up onto our toes. Remembering in Samba as well, we've got lots and lots of practice needed for our posture. Remember the whole time that we want to draw our tummy in, lengthen the rib cage. So whatever variation feels good for you, try and add these exercises intermittently throughout your workout. We're going to go into our lunges now. So placing left foot in front, right leg behind, same posture as before. We want to roll the shoulders back, chest up, draw the rib cage in. As I lower down with my lunge, I want to make sure that my knee is not going over my ankle. So if that's the case, step out a little bit further in front, and you want to think about your knee, your back knee, and your hips going straight down towards the mat. So we don't want to be coming forward. So here's an example of what is not correct. Lunging forward and bringing the knee over the foot. This is going to ultimately hurt your knees and your ankles. So we want to stay nice and tall, tummy tucked in. Think about hips going straight down towards the mat and coming back up again. Chest up, tummy in, and again we're pressing through that front heel to draw back up. Back leg is bent as we come down and press back up. And down, and draw up. So let's take a look at this from the back. Remembering to get your balance, you want to have both legs in line with hips. So try not to just step in one line. Open up those legs that are in line with your hips. Shoulders back, tummy tucked in, knee and hip going straight down towards the mat. Pressing through the front heel to come back up again. Lowering down and coming back up and down and up. From the opposite side. Again, chest high, tummy in, hips going straight down. We're lowering down, pressing through the heel to come up, lowering down and coming up, down and up and down and up. So we can do some variations on these lunges, which are going to help strengthen our hamstrings, our quads, our thighs, which all really help for Samba, particularly when we're wearing high heels. So once we're down in our lunge, once you've got your balance, again, we're going to pulse. Try to think here about drawing the ribcage in, drawing the belly in, shoulders are back, chest is nice and high. Now, if you find that it's too painful, then you can do something beautiful with your arms here. You can practice your Samba arms to try and take the focus off what's going on. But it is really, really important that we start to activate all of these lower body muscles, which are going to really help to support your Samba. You can also hold down and stay here, whatever feels comfortable for you. You can vary this, so you can do 8 down and up, you can do 8 where you're pulsing, 8 where you're holding, whatever feels good for you. The idea is we want to start to activate all of these muscles. So squats and lunges are super important to help develop glutes, thighs, hamstrings, all of the muscle groups that are really important for Samba. down onto the mat now and do some glute-specific exercises. So not only are they going to help improve your Samba, but they're going to help lift your booty, which is always a bonus. So first and foremost, you just need a mat or something comfortable, a towel, etc., and a nice flat surface to begin with. So we're going to gently lower ourselves down onto the mat, so whatever position feels comfortable for you. Wriggle around, make sure that your shoulders, your hips, your knees are all in line. So we don't want knees splaying out or splaying in, okay? So find a comfortable position here. I want you to place your hands on your rib cage, take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, see if you can suck the belly in and try and draw the rib cage in. This is what we call bracing. So this is a position we want to be in for all of these movements. Basically what it's doing is it's activating our core for us, but it's also protecting our lower back. So we want to think about rib cage expanding. As your rib cage expands, you can probably see that my lower back curves here. So I want to think about drawing the rib cage in, drawing the belly in, flattening the lower back. As I do this, my hips and my pelvis automatically tilt. So this is a great position to start this glute exercise. So if it's more comfortable for you, you can walk the heels up a little closer towards your hips, whatever feels good for you. So I want to think about, first of all, big breath in. Exhale, I want to suck the rib cage and the belly in, and as I do that, my glutes automatically switch on, my pelvis tilts. From this position here, we're going to press through the heels and then see if we can keep our hips in line as we press them all the way up as far as we can. We want to make sure here that our hips aren't dropping. So I want you to imagine that you've got a tray full of champagne here and you want to try and keep that nice and level. So once we're here, again, check in and make sure that knees aren't splaying out or in. Knees need to be directly above our ankles. I want you to grab your booty here and just check and see and make sure that your glutes are switched on. If that's the case, then we're going to very gently, vertebra by vertebra, lower back down onto the mat. So you want to think about lowering the upper back, and then the middle back, and then the lower back, and finally the hips, and then we release. So this is called a pelvic tilt or a glute bridge. This is really excellent to start to stabilize your core and also start to fire up the glutes. So again, big breath in. Exhale, we're pressing through the heels, squeezing the glutes, coming all the way up. And then very gently, vertebra by vertebra, keeping those hips nice and level, we're lowering back down again. Now, a variation on this is, as we get to the top, this time we're going to squeeze our knees in towards each other. So we're going to work on the inner thighs. So again, big breath in. Exhale, press through the heels. Keep the hips nice and even. Option here to lift one heel and lift the other. And then we're going to squeeze the knees in towards each other and then bring them back to hip distance apart. Try again not to splay them out because then the hips will drop. So we want to keep the hips up nice and high, keeping knees in line with hips. We're squeezing in and then coming back. Squeezing in and coming back. And again, we can drop down the heels if it's more comfortable. Squeeze in, but keep thinking about lifting the hips. Coming back out, squeeze in, coming back out, and then again, very gently lowering all the way down. So this is our glute bridge. From here, we're going to move on to a little bit of abdominal work. This is what we call a dead bug. So you want to stay in the same position here. What we're going to do is place our palms above our head so that our fingers are facing away from us. We want to squeeze the elbows in and then see if we can press the shoulder blades down onto the mat here. So we're getting a little bit of an arm workout at the same time. What you want to feel with this is, again, that brace position. So we want to draw the rib cage and the lower back in so that we then switch on the glutes and the pelvis tilts. From here, we're going to lift up one foot and then lift up the other foot. As you can see, my ankles and my feet are in line with my knees here. So again, I don't want legs out or in, try and keep them in line. I also don't want knees further forward from the hips or back. So we want to try and keep everything in line, hips, knees, and ankles. So as you can see, this is why it's called a dead bug position or exercise. So what we want to try and think about here is, get rid of the curve in the lower back. So again, draw the rib cage in, press down through the palms, squeeze the elbows together, big breath in. We are lowering the right leg, just hovering above the mat, and then we're drawing back up again to keep the knees in line. Lowering down the left, and drawing back up again. Good. Lowering down. Inhale as we come up. Good. Exhale as we lower down. Now, if this is fine for you, make sure that you keep checking in with these elbows. So squeeze them together, press down the shoulder blades, draw the rib cage and the belly in. You might like to alternate your feet here. Again, keep thinking about controlling that core. Nice deep breaths. And drawing back up again. Another exercise that's really good to start to activate our abdominals and develop lower abdominal strength and core strength is we're just going to take a nice big deep breath in, draw the hands above the head, and then lengthen the legs out in front. Good. And then we're exhaling and drawing knees to chest. As we inhale, I want you to think about that same technique of keeping the lower back nice and flat, drawing the belly in. Big breath in. Squeeze the inner thighs and exhale, drawing. And inhale and exhale. exercises that you can do to start to prepare your body for Samba. Because just remember, Samba is a dance form that we're not used to, especially if you're not Brazilian. We haven't grown up sambaing. So there are certain movements in Samba that our bodies are not used to. So by doing the drill exercise in practice and also including some of these strength and conditioning exercises into your Samba practice and training, you're going to see a huge improvement, not only in your Samba, but in your overall health and wellness, because core strength in particular will help to protect your lower back, will help improve your posture, it will prevent injuries in daily life. So in our next series, we're going to be adding on, these are just very basic exercises to begin with, but if you can get to a Pilates class or get to a yoga class as well as doing your Samba series, these all will contribute to overall fitness and health, which will ultimately assist and aid your Samba. So I look forward to seeing you in the next series. Thank you for joining me in this series. Happy Sambaing. Mwah. Beijos.